The old man pushed his food cart through the red dust of Io Colony just before the artificial sun rose. His steps were slow, steady. Every morning was the same. He rolled his cart to the edge of the education dome, near the broken solar panels. No one cared to fix anymore. The air here smelled like old wires and dry metal, and the ground shook now and then when the mining drills hit deep pockets. His name was Daewon. He was 78 years old, his back bent forward from many years of work in low gravity. Skin was like worn leather, and his hair had gone white a long time ago. He wore thick glasses to protect his eyes from the radiation that sometimes leaked. Through the colony shields, Daewon had lived here since the first humans arrived. When others gave up and went back to Earth or deeper into the system, he stayed. He had no family left. Just this cart. Just this small job. A quiet kind of hope that maybe, just maybe what he did still mattered. He sold hot soybean cakes, algae soup, and nutrient tea. Nothing fancy. But it was warm, and on this moon, warm things were rare. He didn't make much, just enough to keep his heater running at night. One morning, as Daewon was setting out plastic chairs, he saw them. Again, 3 dragons. They weren't like the wild dragons Earth children imagined. These were spaceborne dragons, intelligent, taller than humans. Their bodies were smooth-scaled, soft-colored, with long wings folded against their backs. They wore data bands on their wrists and school pouches strapped across their chests. Daewon had seen them before. Always the same 3. They walked in silence, heads down, wings dragging slightly in the red dust. Their scales didn't shine like the other young dragons. Instead, they looked dull, tired, the kind of tired that doesn't come from just schoolwork. The oldest looked about 14 cycles. She kept her arms around the younger 2. The smallest one seemed barely 9. They never stopped to buy anything. Never looked at anyone. What broke Daewon's heart was their food pouches. While most kids carried shiny, heat-sealed packs, these 3 had patched cloth pouches that hung limp, like empty bags blowing in the wind. He watched them disappear into the learning dome, and the sight stayed with him all day. That night, Daewon sat in his pod home and stared at the ceiling. He thought of his own grandchildren, long gone now, and the way they used to hug him when he brought them hot dumplings. He remembered the war years, the hunger, the cold, the feeling of having nothing and still being expected to smile. He made a quiet decision the next morning. He packed 3 extra soybean cakes, poured warm nutrient tea into his old thermos. When the dragons came walking again, quiet, careful, cold, he stepped into their path. "Good morning," he said gently. "I have something for you." The 3 stopped. Their wings pulled tighter around their bodies. The middle one whispered, "We don't have credits." Daewon smiled, the kind of smile that made the edges of his eyes wrinkle. "That's okay," he said. "You don't need credits for kindness. Here, take it." "It's warm." They hesitated. The smallest dragon peeked at him from behind the others. Her eyes were wide and full of something that looked like hope, buried under layers of fear. Then slowly, the oldest stepped forward. She took the bag of food with both hands. Her claws trembled slightly. "Thank you," she said, barely above. A whisper. They sat on a bench nearby and ate in silence. Daewon didn't watch them too closely. He just cleaned his cart and pretended to be busy. But from the corner of his eye, saw it the smallest one smiled. That was the beginning. The next morning, they came again. And again, Daewon was ready. "Got extra today," he said. It was nothing. No reason it should go to waste. The girls, because now he saw them not as dragons, but as girls, ate, quietly again. The oldest was named Jia, the middle one, Hawoon, the youngest, Byeokyoung. He learned their names slowly, gently, like someone handling a fragile glass. Days turned into weeks. Daewon never asked about their lives. He never asked why they were always hungry, just made sure he had food. He made sure they knew someone, saw them one cold morning. Hawoon brought him a small stone she had polished herself. "It reminded me of your soup," she said shyly. "Warm yellow." Daewon placed the stone next to his tea flask. "Thank you," he said, and meant it. Bit by bit, the girls changed. Their scales grew brighter. Their eyes lifted when they walked. Bakyang started humming to herself. Even laughed one morning at a joke Daewon made about burned soy cakes. The colony kept spinning. Ships came and went. Now drills kept drilling. But at one quiet corner near the edge of the dome, something rare was happening. A human and 3 dragons were building something invisible, something strong, a family, and they didn't even know it yet. The years passed, just like the red dust storms of Io, quiet and steady. Daewon grew older. His hands began to shake. His eyes needed stronger glasses. Some mornings, his legs moved too slow, and he had to lean on the cart just to stand. He was always there, still smiling, still waiting. The 3 dragons grew too. Gia became tall and strong. Her wings stretched wider than a sky window. She studied shield systems and learned how to fix power grids. People at the colony said she would become one of the top engineers. Houn, the middle sister, spent her time in the hydro farms. She liked the green plants, the soil, the quiet. She studied how to grow better food for the colony. Her ideas helped save water and improve harvests. Bo-Kyung, the youngest, liked to talk. She learned human languages fast and started working in the colony's communication tower. She helped humans and dragons understand each other. Even adults listened when she spoke. But no matter how busy they got, the 3 never stopped coming to the food cart. Every morning, like always, they sat with Daewon. They brought him warm tea now, and food too. Bakyang reminded him to take his medicine. Ha-Yun made sure his coat was zipped. Ga carried his cart when he couldn't. "Let us help now," Gia said one morning. "You helped us when we had no one." Daewon smiled, his eyes wet. "You're still my girls," he whispered. "I'll help as long as I can." One evening, something terrible happened. A power cord deep below the colony broke. The lights flickered. The air recyclers stopped. Red alarms screamed across every level. People ran. Doors slammed. Machines shook. A reactor leak was starting. If it wasn't fixed, the colony could explode. Hundreds of lives were in danger. Daewon was at home when it happened. He sat in his chair, coughing, trying to stand. He had no strength left to run. But then, someone opened the door. Gia rushed in, grabbed his coat, and lifted him onto her back. "Hold tight," she said. Hoon and Bakyang ran beside her. The whole colony was in chaos, but the 3 dragons didn't leave. They didn't hide. They flew through the vents, through smoke and fire, through locked doors and failing lights. Gia flew straight to the damaged power grid. She crawled into the narrow shaft where no human could fit. Her claws reconnected burned wires. Her wings covered the sparks to protect the circuits. Ha-Yun ran to the cooling tanks. The heat was rising fast. Pipes were melting. She used her own body to hold 2 broken valves together. Water rushed through, and the temperature dropped. Bakyang entered the main control center. She pushed past scared engineers and spoke clearly. "Into the main comes, do not panic," she said. "Stay where you are. Help is coming. We are dragons of this colony, and we will not let you fall." The people listened. The panic slowed. The reactor cooled. The danger passed. The colony was saved by 3 dragons. Everyone was shocked. They asked, "Who are they? Where did they come from? Why would they risk their lives for us?" Someone answered, "Those are Daewon's girls." The story spread fast. A meeting was held. The colony leaders gave the dragons medals. They wanted to honor them, give them their own units, even offer them land rights. But Gia stepped forward. "We accept the honor," she said, "but only if our father shares the stage." The crowd turned. Daewon, in a clean coat and with shaking legs, was helped up onto the platform. Bakyang grabbed his hand. Hoen stood on his right, on his left. The people cheered. Daewon and the Sky Sisters. They shouted. After that day, things changed. The dragons were no longer seen as outsiders. They were seen as heroes, His family and Daewon, the old man with the food cart, became a symbol of something bigger than kindness. He had not just given food, he had given love. One morning, long after the reactor accident, Daewon sat under a glowing tree inside the colony's green dome. The sisters had built the tree from light and solar vines. It never wilted. The 3 dragons landed beside him. "You look tired," Bakyang said softly. "I am," Daewon said with a small smile. "But I'm happy." He looked at them strong, proud, beautiful. "You were once hungry and afraid," he said. "Now look at you." Jia touched his hand. "You believed in us," Hoi nodded. "You saw us when no one else did." Bakyang smiled. "You gave us warmth, and now we give it back." Daewon nodded. "I just gave you breakfast," he said. Later that month, a plaque was placed near the education dome. It showed a man with white hair standing beside 3 dragon girls. It said, "To the one who fed 3 hungry dragons and found a family,